You're watching Look East from the BBC. Coming up, how to help your garden cope in a heat wave. The sailor Pippa Hare is celebrating tonight after winning the prestigious Round Britain and Ireland yacht race.
Pippa comes from Felixstowe and her boat, the Shed, was built in Ipswich, and at one stage she had a lead of 13 hours. Then the wind dropped and everybody started catching up. Well, when I spoke to her in Plymouth late this afternoon, she told me those moments were very frustrating.
You're powerless. You just sit there while the others sail towards you and there's nothing you can do.
And you know they're getting closer, do you?
Yes, yeah, because we've all got trackers on, and so every hour you can find out where people are and you can work out how fast they're going and what course they're going and compare that with what you're doing. And sometimes it's great, gives you a really good boost when you're going fast and you can see you're going faster than other people, but certainly in the last leg it was soul-destroying.
And of course you came right by home because it's a local boat and you're a local girl. Did people come out to see you?
Yes, yeah, I had friends and family come and see me in Lowestoft, and I had a huge supply of cake delivered as well. Lots of people baked me cakes. And we sailed, well, we were too far offshore and it was hazy, but we sailed right past my mum and dad's house in Felixstowe, so I sort of gave them a wave. And
this is a boat that's made to be crewed by 10 people, and yet there were just the 2 of you on board. So how do you manage that?
Well, the boat's been fairly well set up. I've thought about what sails I have and what equipment's on board. And basically, we sail it, or try to sail it, to the capacity that a fully crewed boat would be sailed to. But every manoeuvre, we talk about it, we think about it, we plan it, and then you just have to run around like headless chickens, carrying out sail drops and hoists and all that sort of thing.
And this is a big win for you. What does it mean?
I set out really to make a mark, to prove to myself and to show other people, potential sponsors, that I do have the ability to ocean race. And from this, I'm hoping to go on to a mini Transat campaign next year and join a more professional scene.
Well, congratulations from all of us. Enjoy the rest of your celebrations.
Thank you very much.
Well, now a story about the special relationship between a 6-year-old girl called Rebecca and her dog, Shirley. Rebecca is diabetic, but isn't always aware when her sugar level is falling, and she's in danger, therefore, of falling into a coma.
And that's where Shirley comes in. She's been trained to sense the change in smell and warns Rebecca and the rest of the family.
Down.
This dog is more than just a pet to 6-year-old Rebecca. She's a lifesaver.
Her name is Shirley. She saves my life.
How does she do that?
When my sugar level drops, she senses it.
Rebecca has an aggressive form of diabetes, and Shirley has been trained to sniff out and tell her when her blood sugar is too high or low. Life before Shirley was a never-ending struggle to keep Rebecca alive and well.
She was collapsing every other day. Sometimes I'd catch it just before she collapsed too bad. Other days I'd have to call the ambulance. But now we've got Shirley. Shirley actually detects it before Rebecca knows she's going low.
When Rebecca's levels drop, Shirley licks her, then fetches Mum. After a test, Rebecca is given sugar to get her bloods back to normal. The charity that trains Shirley trains dogs to detect all sorts of problems. This is Daisy, and she's been trained to smell cancer.
What we've learned over the last 5 years is that dogs can detect human disease by odour. When we have a change in our health, we have a small change in odour, a minute change. But to this, the dog is easy to spot. And we just haven't harnessed this ability.
Rebecca is the first little girl to get a specially trained dog. And over the past 4 months, they've become inseparable.
Shirley's my best friend.
Anita Ramdhari, BBC Look East.
Oh, she is a gorgeous
We're in love with that dog, aren't we? And with her, of course.
Yes,
what a great story.
Gorgeous, a gorgeous pair, yes. Now, we had a little bit of rain at my house today, but as any gardener will tell you, it's nowhere near enough to do any good.
Experts say the soil is already seriously dry. You need to be an expert to know that. And many plants could be at risk. This report is from Kevin Birch.
Brian Taylor from Ipswich has had an allotment for more than 40 years. He admits it has been an unusually dry spring, but says it's not as bad as some people make out. Most things, including the beans, are coming on nicely. As for today's modest rainfall, is that a help?
No, it's neither fish nor fowl really. It lands on the top and evaporates before it gets anywhere near. Some of the cleverer plants do have mechanisms of directing what rain they get into their hearts, like the cabbage plants and things, but even them, I don't think there was enough to do them a lot of good.
Essex is one of the driest spots in the country, and here at the Beth Chatto Gardens, this gravel garden was set up 20 years ago to bring together plants from around the world to see how they cope. And when it's really dry, the rule of thumb is don't reach for the hose pipe, reach for the secateurs.
We cut them back like this to reduce all the excess foliage.
Almost to take the load off the plant.
Take the load off the plant, take the stress off the plant, and also it sort of keeps them nice and bushy. They shoot out, and also if it does rain, the rain's more able to get through to the roots.
In the gravel garden, there's no irrigation at all, but if you do want to water, the advice is collect rainwater in butts and buckets to reuse on the garden, water around the base of plants. Watering the leaves is wasteful due to evaporation. Water plants thoroughly to make them resilient, giving them little and often encourages shallow roots, and wage war on the weeds. They use up valuable moisture. The renowned Royal Horticultural Society says dryness levels in the soil are already as low as we'd normally expect towards the end of the summer. So what odds on a downpour?
If we don't get any rain between now and perhaps September, October time, then that could be a real problem. But even the most pessimistic of souls, I would suspect, would see that as a long hop.
So for now, all they can do is watch the skies and hope and keep those green fingers firmly crossed. Kevin Birch, BBC Look East.
What we really want is a lot of rain at night.
Yes. The
So
Beth Chatto Garden is beautiful,
isn't it? Yes.
Right.
Even if it's too dry at the moment.
So, any rain?
Well, there was some this morning, but not for everybody.
I didn't get much.
Stuart didn't get very much. Susie got a bit. I hardly saw any, which means my husband's going to be out with a watering can yet again tonight. The reason why, we did have a band of rain moving through this morning, but it rattled through very quickly. And as you can see from the radar picture, it was fairly fragmented. The heaviest of the rainfall just wetting the ground in places, but by 10 o'clock in the morning it was gone, and the bulk of the day has been fine and dry, give or take one or two isolated showers. But I should just point out that in parts of Norfolk and Suffolk, some of these have been on the sharp side. In fact, this area here produced some heavy downpours, some thunder and hail, but it is now clearing out into the North Sea. And for most of us, it's yet another dry evening. Yes, more cloud than yesterday, but most of us enjoying some bright or sunny spells to end the day. And then overnight tonight, well, it looks like it's going to remain dry. We will have areas of cloud coming and going. And around the North Norfolk coast, well, we may see a bit of mistiness developing, but a fairly quiet night and another warm one. Temperatures way above the average 9 Celsius expected at this time of year. Nothing lower than about sort of 12 to 14 Celsius with hardly any wind at all. Those winds very light and variable. Now, tomorrow, this area of high pressure extending in from the southwest, so that's going to keep us fine and dry yet again. There'll be a fair amount of cloud at times, so we may lose the sunshine, but we should get to see some brightness and sunshine across most of the region at some point. Just a very small chance of an isolated shower, more especially in the east. But I think for most of us, as I said, another dry day. So it's looking pretty good for the start of the Royal Norfolk show, and warm everywhere too. Temperatures around 24 or 25 degrees Celsius inland, closer to normal right on the coast where we'll have a bit of an onshore breeze developing. And then Thursday remains dry with the rain associated with this front out to the west, but that front may come close enough on Friday to bring some showery rain, and we may well see this area of rain pushing in from France, producing some heavy and thundery downpours. But I have to say that is still all up in the air. So it does look like Wednesday and Thursday, 2 dry days, if anything getting a bit warmer again on Thursday. Temperatures rising further still on Friday, which is when we could see some showery rain and possibly some heavy thundery downpours. And then the dry weather sets back in again for Saturday and Sunday, and it remains warm by day and by night too. And that's your forecast.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope you got the message and is out watering at this moment.
Get busy. That's all from us. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Goodbye.